means that lifestyle choices like diet, exercise, stress management, environmental toxins, and sleep has significant reversible impact on our health by modifying the epigenome. So what are the learning objectives of this talk? At the end of this talk, my hope and prayer is that you understand the meaning of epigenetics, that you will know how lifestyle choices turn genes on and off, that you can think that finding the root of the problem is what is needed at this time. In 2025, we need thinkers, missionaries like you, that when they see a problem, they don't just accept the problem, but actually they ask why and how, when we go to the root of the problem, we can actually get and pull the weed out. We're going to learn what methylation is all about, and we're going to confirm that heart disease is a preventable disease. So what is epigenetics? Epigenetics refers to the way your behavior and environment can cause changes that affect the way your genes work. So, epigenetics mechanisms turn your genes on and off. Your epigenetic mechanisms change as you age, both as part of a normal developmental and aging process, but also due to exposure to chemicals and other factors that happen throughout our life, like stress or trauma. Epigenetic changes can affect your health in different ways. So here we go, don't get scared. Look at this. Go to high school. Remember that little X over there to the corner? Remember? These are our chromosomes, and inside, all our genes are packed. So the epigenome consists of chemical compounds such as the methyl groups attached to the DNA. So I'm going to point this is a methyl group. We're going to learn more about it. Methyl groups. Look at this. This methyl group is coming and attaching to this DNA. It's like a tag. We have histone proteins. These are this blue or color, which are the proteins the DNA wraps around. You see, the DNA is that strand, wraps around the histone. And then we have these changes in your RNA mechanism. The epigenome ensures that each cell type expresses only the genes is needed. For example, a muscle cell does not produce proteins required for bone growth. Do you understand what I'm saying? Each cell has a purpose. Okay? My heart cell is different from my stomach cell. Okay? From my bicep cell. And epigenetics makes sure that that continues to be that way. The epigenome is not static like the genome is, like your DNA never changes. It's dynamic and can alter the environmental influences, lifestyle choices, and disease. Now, there are three genomic mechanisms that this epigenome suffers and changes. We have DNA methylation, you're going to learn that today, histone modification, and the RNA mechanism. We are going to focus mainly today in number one. Now, I'm going to make it even more graphic, turning genes on and off, okay? Look at this compact DNA. It's not transcribing. It's like a little lump. You see the lump of all your histones all together. You see the epigenetic modifications of the nucleosomal histone. Look at the histones here. They are loose. Here they are compact, okay? Compact and loose histone modifications of compactly coiled heterochromatin regions or relaxed. And so when they are relaxed, they can transcribe. They turn the genes on. When they are compact, they are turning the genes off. Although all cells in our body contains the same genetic material, each cell acts in a cell type specific manner, as determined by the gene expression profile. Epigenetic mechanisms control gene expression without modifying the actual genetic code. We talk about that. I'm just repeating, making sure you're understanding. Now, the altered gene expression, when my gene is turned on, that pattern can be passed on to the daughter cells. And you want to see more in a little bit. So while we talk about it, maybe the epidemic of chronic diseases and many autoimmune diseases are linked what's happening in our epigenome. I remember one of my teachers in elementary school used to tell us, always ask why, and you'll learn many more things. Remember, if your teachers, you've had that, some, maybe your parents in your life, ask why, and you will learn more things. If you have heard my testimony before, you remember that my son was sick since he was an infant. Cough and runny nose was a daily problem. Frequent ear infections with frequent antibiotics. Unfortunately, I did not ask why. And for 4 years, he was labeled as an asthmatic, given medications for runny nose, antihistamines, cough medications, inhalers, singular, and oral prednisone when his symptoms worsened. Ethan and the rest of the family learned to live with this and accepted illness as part of life. Unconsciously, Ethan's mother repeated the same story that happened to her growing up. Maybe you need to know a little bit about his mom. I suffered from ear infections since I can remember. I was given antibiotics right and left. My mother too had the same problem and also was exposed to several antibiotics. My father had digestive problems all his life. At first, secondary to his lifestyle choices, he was a smoker and a drinker. But then when he found the Lord and joined the Adventist church, he embraced the health message, left all of that behind, and became a vegetarian. But even then, he intermittently had digestive issues, to the point that one time he was hospitalized with severe pancreatitis. When I was 7 years old, I was diagnosed with a very dangerous ear infection. At first, they didn't know what it was. They gave me oral antibiotics, and that didn't work. So they found out that I had something called Pseudomonas aeruginosa. Pseudomonas is a bad bacteria. So they put me in the hospital, and after 4 weeks of injecting the antibiotics, my veins gave up. And they couldn't find more veins, so they had to put a PICC line. At that time, they chose one under the axilla. And so I was another month there receiving antibiotics. Moving on, at age 18, I remember the bloating, I remember the abdominal pain. I remember I never had really normal stools. The pain was so severe as when I turned 18 that I was seen by a gastroenterologist, and the gastroenterologist said, you should, I'm getting distracted, sorry. So the gastroenterologist said, you need to have an endoscopy and a colonoscopy. So at 18 years old, I got a colonoscopy and endoscopy. And the doctor came with good news. Everything is normal. Maybe you are just stressed, or everything is in your head. So I learned to live with bloating, indigestion, and loose stools. Now I understand that my microbiome or gut bacteria was unbalanced. And I had leaky gut and probably triggered by the ear infections, the antibiotics, my diet, the stress of illness at a young age, and the epigenetic predisposition from my parents' issues. I hope that you're grasping the concept of epigenetics. Is that becoming a little bit less scary? Are you understanding? And then you can make a self-evaluation of your health and regain hope. You don't have to live that way. At the end of this talk, you will have the tools to change your destiny, no matter your family history. I like to visualize things when I learn, so I would like to share this short video with you about how epigenetic works in a three-dimensional view. So I am going to switch gears and bring you the video.
DNA contains the instructions for building all the parts of the body. But DNA is only half the story. The DNA in our bodies is wrapped around proteins called histones. Both the DNA and histones are covered with chemical tags. This second layer of structure is called the epigenome. The epigenome shapes the physical structure of the genome. It tightly wraps inactive genes, making them unreadable. It relaxes active genes, making them easily accessible. Different sets of genes